talk about Jim Neilson
Yes.
later on. Gary, I must tell that story, but it's
Jim Neilson. Yeah, he was First Nations defenseman.
Cree. He was a Cree, I think.
Cree, yeah, and you would say he would be making about $10 million.
Oh man, here's Jim Neilson played 20 years in the National Hockey League. He was a stay-at-home defenseman. Get this, he was a stay-at-home defenseman, and he could score. I mean, nobody has that anymore. And he played 20 years in the National Hockey League. He was an all-star. And one year he got 10 goals. I mean, he got 44 points one year. Guys getting 44 points that are forwards now are getting like about $10 million.
Yeah, so how much would a defenseman getting 44 points get?
This guy would be getting $8 million a year. I know I go on and on about him, but I remember he played when I was in the minors, and he was a big guy. He was a great big guy. They call him Chief. I never met him actually, to tell you the truth, but I'll tell you, boy, he was quite a hockey player, and I have to tell this story. Now you have to take this. You have to take it as this happened about I'd say about 20, 30 years ago. Red Fisher, who wrote for the Montreal Gazette, was a great sports writer. He could, and I used to, every time Boston went in to Montreal, I'd always read his columns. It was always great. He did a great job. And him and Glenn Sather, and I hope I'm getting this right, Glenn Sather used to go fishing all the time and hunting. I don't think he went hunting, but I think they went fishing. Anyhow, and Red Fisher was a great admirer of Indian painting or native painting.
We'll call them First Nations paintings.
Oh, First Nation painting. Anyhow, is that what they call them? First Nation? Anyhow, he was a great Indian painting. It was just beautiful. You have to think about this. This was about 30 years ago. And so Glenn Sather was always playing jokes on everybody all the time. I guess he could when he was winning all the time. And so now remember what I said, that and Indians used to do great paintings and things like that. And he was always, and so he says, and they went fishing or something. And Glenn Sather said to Red Fisher, he said, I'm going to get you a great picture or of an Indian painting. And he went to Jim Neilson. He said, would you do me a job? Just let on you're painting your barn and send me a picture. And he sent it to Red Fisher. Here's the picture I promised you, an Indian painting. I thought that was pretty good. And he had Jim Neilson. He is they call him Chief, eh? And he was a Cree, and he played for he got drafted in the Ranger system. He played 12 years for the Rangers, and he was an all-star. He got 44 points, like I said, 10 goals. 10 goals. I mean, back in those days, nobody did that. He was always a contender. He played with Gretzky near the end of his career. He would, near the end of his career, he played, and he would always do charity. He was always a great guy for charity, and he used to play games charity, and they used to give him the money to the charity, and that's the kind of guy he was. And he died this year, and he was a great guy, and it fits right in with our sponsor.
Yeah, it's it was sad. And again, you just, how many guys you look back and they just say, if I was born in another era, I'd be making so much.
Someday I'll start doing this. The guys,